What's up, everyone, and welcome back to another and very exciting episode of From Zero, where today we have on an extremely special marketing guest, a guy that you may have seen his ads, and if you haven't yet, I'm beyond excited to share them with you. We have the pleasure of bringing on Sam Rico, founder of Property Spark, and we are going to talk to you guys about how to crush it with Facebook ads and social media in real estate in 2019. Sam dives into all of his tips and tricks and unveils everything to you guys in this conversation. So it's my pleasure to introduce you guys to Sam Rico. All right, what's up, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of From Zero, where we have on a very special guest in the real estate industry today, a guy that's a thought leader in the new age of marketing that I'm so stoked to get into some of the new industry trends, the details, stuff that you guys can use and take away to make 2019 the best year of your career. So it's my pleasure to introduce Sam, the founder of Property Spark.
Hey, Mike, how's it going, man? Happy to be on the show.
Definitely, man. Thank you so much for coming on. So, let's give some people a bit of context here in terms of how you got into the point of getting into the real estate niche, and then also Property Spark, because, as you know, and as some of the viewers know, I got featured on some of your lists, and it's kind of neat how you and I connected based off that. But I'd love people to get an understanding of what you guys do, because you guys are making a huge impact on the businesses of so many people in this industry and helping them, especially like your dad, take your business to a completely new and unfathomable level. So Sam, man, let's get into it about, a brief background of your story, and then we'll dive deep into Property Spark, and then we'll start getting into actionable things in this marketing space.
Sounds like a plan, man. So basically I got into the space because my dad's a real estate agent. So you mentioned that real estate's been, close to home, literally for forever, since I was a kid, and my dad got his license over 16 years ago. And essentially what happened was, and honestly didn't all start with sunshine and rainbows. My dad was struggling. Things were changing in the market. You probably, saw this happening, right? Like 5-6 years ago, the print advertising, the typical old school stuff just wasn't generating the ROI that it used to. And so your costs were staying the same, but your commissions were going down. And that's what happened to my dad. And it was really tough for him, for my family. At the time, I was actually working downtown Toronto, and I was at a big consulting firm, and I just realized, the corporate life wasn't for me, and my dad was struggling. I knew that I could probably figure something out, some way to help him, just with everything I knew about technology. And so I actually just moved back to my parents' house, and I started working with him. I started, working on his Facebook ads, working on his content, working on the blogs, working on the lead generation, and we spent a lot of time figuring it all out. And, he actually tripled his commissions just with social media. My dad, he plays, 35, 40 rounds of golf a year, and we're in Canada. So you can't play all year round. You only get a few months to do it. And he's still, raking in, enough commissions, big commissions to, take it easy, make money, take care of the family, go on vacation, do all these things. And it's all because of what we're doing for him on Facebook, on Instagram, on social media. So long story short, my dad's friends and people at his office started asking, how are you always on Facebook? How are you doing all these ads? He said, my son's doing it for me. So they start calling me up. They're asking for help. And, more than 2 years ago, I had that bright idea. Well, let's call it Property Spark, and let's get rolling on helping more agents. And here we are.
That's fantastic, man. It's a great name too, because at the end of the day, you're sparking some interest in these properties.
Yeah.
It's exciting because how old is your dad?
So my dad right now is 50. I was remembering so I don't mess this up correctly. He's 56. I'm pretty sure.
Right?
56, yeah.
Definitely, man. I think that's an important thing for us to touch on, because
a
lot of people, I spoke at a real estate seminar not too long ago, 250 or 300 agents. And a lot of them are in that older demographic, because that's the demographic that are usually, very prominent in this industry. But a lot of them understand the importance of social media and, new age marketing and things like that. They understand the importance, but they struggle with taking action because they think it's either too difficult, too time consuming, or they just find it unfathomable to get into. So what was it like to help your dad get on there? Because as you mentioned, he's golfing, he's got a balanced life. He's still doing lots of deals. He's still making in the six figures, but he's still also managing his marketing properly. So what does that look like for someone that's maybe wants to outsource their marketing to something like Property Spark? Or what does that look like for someone that's maybe not that tech savvy, but understands that they need to start doing it?
Yeah, no, for sure. It's a great question. And that's actually a question that I dealt with for the last couple of years starting this company. Be honest with you, I don't really share this a lot. I've just told this kind of story in a couple of webinars that I did, but essentially for the first part of Property Spark, it was just a software company. So we built this platform that would allow real estate agents like my dad to log in and upload their photos of their pictures and then run their ads on Facebook. Long story short, it was a disaster. And it's because we realized that the real estate agents, especially the ones that are making six figures or more, they really just want somebody else to do it. And it makes sense, right? Like, I'm in the business of advertising for real estate agents. And so I'm a good digital marketer, right? You're one of the top agents in the world on social media. And that makes you have to be a good digital marketer. But for most real estate agents out there making six figures or even seven figures, and even more for them, they're in the business of closing deals every day, right? And it's not absolutely necessary that they become these social media experts. That's our mission, is to make it unnecessary. And all they have to do is really just believe that, the way that the marketing game is going is towards social, is towards digital, and, let us do that work for you. And what's really, really interesting, I find, is that it's not like these, older generation of real estate agents like my dad or most of our clients. It's not like they're completely, unaware of what's going on. In fact, a lot of the ideas that we get to start working on comes from them, right? And it's really like ideas about, maybe we should be following up with them, this way, or maybe we should be running this type of ad. But they don't, they don't want to go and do the graphic work or the video work or upload to Facebook or Instagram or learn the ads platform. So we do all that nitty gritty stuff, and we let them, get back to their business. And that's really our purpose here. It's about getting them results, and that's what we focus on. But a big part of it, why our real estate agents stay on with us, is because it's just a complete time saver for them. And we're committed to the actual service. It's just like the real estate industry, right? A lot of people, a lot of companies out there, a lot of publications talk about it's going to be automated, it's all going to be tech. But the reason why real estate agents are still around, will be around for a very long time, is because of that one-on-one service and knowledge and experience and ability to pick up the phone or send an email and get an answer right away. And that's what we service, except we do it for the real estate agents, where the real estate agents are doing it for the home buyers.
Definitely, man. I think that's important that you mentioned is, while I like to do my own digital marketing, it's not for everyone, but everyone understands that it is necessary. Yeah. So I like that you guys have a very easy to use platform that, again, going back to time saving, everyone is trying to, achieve that life of working smarter and not harder. And by outsourcing things, if you're able to do it, you don't have to spend the hours doing the trial and error when someone has already done that for you. So something that I'd love to maybe touch on before we get into some more details is, you mentioned in a lot of your advertising, you took your dad, tripled his income, 100,000 to 300,000. What did that marketing campaign, or what did you do for him to give people an idea of, what you guys do and what you guys can do on, was it Facebook marketing? Was it lead gen for new properties? Was it buyers? What was that transition like that really, took his business to a completely new level?
Yeah, for sure. So I think first and foremost, to be clear, is the first thing that I realized now looking back is that the key was that I just did it for him. I didn't have him do it. I wasn't training him. I wasn't coaching him. And that's what we do for our clients. We actually, they have a platform, they log in to see results, but we actually do the work for them. And so to answer the question about what actual work did we do, it's really interesting because, I'm talking about basically 3 years ago when I started, working with my dad, and over 3 years ago, and doing all his marketing. And at the time, I don't even know if a lot of people will believe this, but at the time, all we were doing was just posting regularly and advertising. We didn't even have, funnels set up. We weren't even doing, I'm not kidding you, we were not even doing lead generation at the time. All we were doing was advertising and the one thing that we were doing that was more advanced at the time than most people were doing was we were retargeting the people that were on his email list, retargeting the people that had clicked on his ads before. And so that's all it was. And what happened was most of the deals that he got, because he was at around 100,000 commissions, that $200,000 in incremental deals, because he went up to 300,000, that all that incremental, almost all of it, was from his own network that had really just forgotten about him because they hadn't seen him for so long. But because he was advertising on Facebook, posting constantly, everybody from his high school, from the church, from the gym, people that he hadn't talked to for like 20 years, all of a sudden literally sending him Facebook messages saying, hey, I see your ads all the time. I'm actually looking to sell next spring. Like, I have screenshots of this. And it's just crazy, right? Because that's real tens of thousands of dollars in commission in the bank just from advertising. Now, it's not the same game anymore. Obviously, you got to be a little more nuanced. You got to be a little more technical. You got to start doing those lead gen campaigns and following up nowadays. But back then, I'm telling you, it was straight content and advertising, and that's what drove all the incremental commission. Which, I think today, like I said, the game has changed, and you do got to be on lead gen and doing funnels and stuff. But even if you don't want to do that, even if you just advertise and just start posting content, spending a bit of money, if you're just starting out as an agent, or you just want to, dip your feet in the water with all the social media stuff, you will still get incremental deals just from your network of people that have just forgotten about you, but now they see you all the time. And the other thing too that's really important is that at the time, everybody was like, is this Facebook thing really good for real estate? I had people at the time telling me that, it's just for kids. Like, now when you think about it, it's just completely crazy, right? But my dad, and I give kudos to him for this, he stuck to it. He stuck to it for a long period of time. He stuck to it, and it took time. It took time for the results to start rolling in. But once they did, and you know this as well as any realtor, once you get that deal once, 3-4 years later, you expect the call again. And now he's getting deals again from the people from 3 years ago that did a deal with him then. They're doing the deals now. So it's just crazy to think that was basically all that we did and all that worked back then. But the big thing was he stuck to it for a long time, and that's still relevant today, right?
Definitely, Sam. There's two things I really want to break down there is, the first thing is you kind of alluded to, servicing your CRM or your database in the sense that now people are seeing you, because, that is always a recurring theme. Every time we do these, Thrive Not Survive, big mega events with agents, everyone says one of their biggest pitfalls and things that they know they should do and they don't is servicing their database. And like you say, it doesn't even have to be an exhaustive one-by-one call. Sure, that would be nice. But like you said, I get messages all the time from people that say, Mike, I just see your content everywhere and I love what you're doing. I love that you're putting yourself out there. And just by posting, like you said, your dad, it completely changes. And that's one of the most effective ways in today's world to get in front of people on a frequent and daily basis, because everyone is checking their phone. So it doesn't matter, how savvy you are. If you're just putting out content, that's more than enough to at least get in front of these people. And, the next thing I want to talk about is the patience and persistence that it takes, because unfortunately, one of the things that I see a lot of people struggle with, digital marketing or social media marketing and lead gen is the fact that they're expecting the same result as a referral or a sphere-based introduction where it's now business. And people don't understand that you have to foster that. And sometimes, coming from one of our ads, you could get something, tomorrow, but they're not going to buy till next year. And you need a follow-up plan. You need to be diligent. So can you touch on maybe, you already did briefly, but a bit more on, the importance of sticking to it and understanding that you might not see a direct result within 2 months, but it will come over time. It's just like SEO. You need to be invested in the long run, like flyers.
Yeah. It's like anything, like you said. I think the one thing that we realized was, it's funny, my uncle was a real estate agent for some time too, and he used to do 200, 300 cold calls a day. He was actually explaining this to me on the weekend, and he said, it relates to social media and digital marketing today because it's all the same psychology. He said, so I would call 300 people, and out of those 300, maybe I get 3 or 4 people that said, I might be looking to buy or sell, right? And then he writes them down on a notepad, and then he puts the notepad in the corner, and the next day he does the same thing, and he writes the names on the notepad, and then it's not till 2 or 3 months later where he recalls the people on the notepad that had some sort of interest, 3, 4, 5, 6 months ago. And then those people will go, oh yeah, they remember that you called them. Now they're actually telling you, I'm actually looking to sell, in the fall or next month or whatever. And then that's when you get the deal. So it's literally, I think the one, big switch that happened, which was a mistake in people's minds was, well, Facebook is instant, social media is instant, everything, emails are instant, and so the business should come instantly. Well, no, the psychology of a person, whether they're buying a pair of shoes or a house, and even more a house or a car, or whatever it is, people, they look, they wait, they think, they look at different options, they get content now more than ever, they read about it. It takes time, and then eventually they go with the person or the company that they trust the most, that's going to deliver the value for them at the right price. It's literally the same thing for real estate. Nothing changes. So much so that we just launched a product that it's called Lead Magic, and the whole reason why we launched it and why we're doing it is it's just to follow up with the leads that you already have. So it sends emails out to the people that's already on your CRM or email list. We write the content so you don't have to worry about it. We help you retarget those leads on your CRM on Facebook, so that anybody that's ever been in your CRM, they also get the content and the ads that you post on Facebook. And the whole product is just that one product, Lead Magic, aside from our other products that we have. That one product is literally just made to follow up with the people who you are literally leaving behind, and therefore leaving money on the table. And I mean, we realize it too. Whenever we have a big webinar or a big event or whatever it is, we do all of our events online. Most of our events are online. It's actually not the people that just registered yesterday or just clicked on our ad yesterday that buy our services. It's the people that have been on our email list for 6, 7, 8 months. Those are the people that are going now, okay, these guys have been around. I see their content. I see Sam posting. I see the videos. I see the emails. I get it. I trust them. And then they buy the service, right? So it's all about that long game. And I guess my point is, if you struggle with that, if you're a real estate agent and you can't wrap your head around it, all you have to look at is other companies and products, and what have you bought? When was the last time you clicked an ad that you've never seen the company before in your whole life? When was the last time you clicked the ad and that day you bought the product? Very rare. Very, very, very rare. But you've probably been on some blog, on an email list, right? Seeing the same ad for 3, 4, 5, 6 months, and then you bought the product, right? It's the exact same with real estate. So that's it. It's just the psychology of the buyer hasn't changed. Just the methods of reaching them, right? Before you'd have to cold call once and then follow up and then follow up. Same thing now. Post content, post more content, post more content. It's the same psychology.
Yeah, I kind of like how you related it to, webinars and things like that.
Yeah.
It almost stresses the importance of congruency, in the sense that, what I find a lot is, if someone sees my ad, the first thing they're doing, maybe after or aside from clicking the ad, is they click the profile that it's coming from. And they say, how do the reviews look? What else is he posting? Yeah. And then if they're on their phone, they're like, oh shit, maybe I should look this guy up and see if he's got an Instagram account. So it kind of stresses the importance of, being present on everything. To hit the nail on the head with, tangible things with Facebook marketing, I'd love to understand the power of it in the sense of dollar per value, because the reach is massive. And a lot of people, still in the old days, and there is an importance for things like bus benches, but, the reach for someone, especially a new agent with maybe a tighter budget, is unfathomable. It's crazy to get with some of these things. But, I'd like to touch on the power of Facebook ads, but also some of the do's and don'ts and stuff that you've seen from trial and error, because I know I've done my own A/B split testing for a year and a half now, and I've now found stuff that converts at $1 per click, but it takes time, and I've learned.
Oh, it takes time,
Time. So for people that are looking to get started, what is your advice on stuff, the do's and don'ts, and things that work and things to shy away from on Facebook marketing?
For sure. I think the number one realization that I've had, and I think it's a little hard for people to in the real estate space to accept and understand, is that you're not selling mugs, you're not selling shoes, you're not selling you're not selling food. You're selling a service that's a one-on-one service for a product, which is a home, which is something that people take. It's the product that people take the longest to actually think about and buy. Yeah. So I think the biggest mistake that I've seen real estate agents make is that they think that, like you said, like it took you like time to really make dollar for dollar on the ads that you're spending. But you probably realize this by now too. it's not about, for real estate agents, it's not necessarily about, I spent $500 on a campaign this week, and this week I got a lead I got 10 leads, and one of those leads turned into a listing, and I made $10,000 off the listing. If that was the case, I would be a real estate agent, and I would tell everybody to be a real estate agent, because it's that easy, right? You spend $500, you make $10,000. Let's do it, right? Yeah. But it's not. What happens is you spend $500 this week, and maybe you get, like, it's happened to my dad, it's happened to our clients. Maybe you get a deal from it. You're really happy it all worked out. But usually it takes months, right? For that first, the 10 leads you got for that $500 or 50 leads or whatever it is. The point is, if it takes 3 months or 6 months to get the deal from them, it's still worth it, right? It's still worth it. And I think what's important is really looking at, and this is more high level advice, but I'll get into some practical stuff too. Looking at the overall marketing budget, right? So that's what I did for my dad over 3 years ago. I said, how much are you spending on marketing? He was spending about $30,000. Making about $100,000 in commissions after taxes. You can imagine it's not a lot of money. And so I said, okay, let's not spend any more on marketing, but let's scrap about $20,000 of all the print advertising, or a lot of the print advertising, because not all of it. It still works in conjunction sometimes with some realtors in some areas. Let's scrap a lot of it though. Let's scrap a lot of the things that aren't working. We left the bus benches. We left, some print advertising for about $10,000, and then we just took that other $20,000 and put it all towards Facebook. And it wasn't like we put it all towards Facebook and the next day we were rich. It was, we put it all towards Facebook, and 6 months, 12 months later, the commissions tripled, right? And so now he's making $300,000 off of the 30 grand instead of making $100,000 off of 30 grand. And that's what really matters when you're advertising on Facebook as a real estate agent, which is different for us. It's hard to accept, because I think a lot of agents, they see companies that they spend $10 on Facebook and they make $20 back right away, right? And they go, well, that's what it's got to be for me. Well, no, it's a lot different, because the people that are buying from you, the people that are going to be your clients, might be your clients in 6 months. They might not be ready to buy today, and there's nothing that you can post or advertise that's going to make them want to buy right now. It doesn't matter. Some people they're just not ready, and so you just got to keep filling the pipes. And then what happens is, if you just start today and it takes 3 months for your first lead to convert, but you keep advertising every single day, eventually it lines up. And now, your leads from 3 months ago are converting, and you're running ads, which means 3 months later, those will convert. And now every day you're getting leads and you're getting deals, or every week, or whatever it is. And that's when it starts to make sense. So that's my biggest takeaway at a higher level for real estate agents, for sure.
Definitely. So here's a neat one, 2019, new year, new goals, everything.
Yeah.
If someone is saying, it's time for me to dive deep and try my own Facebook ad, what would you recommend their first Facebook ad look like in terms of, choosing traffic or lead gen or brand or whatever on Facebook, or even the copy? Because something that I see, and you'll probably, agree with this, is, the copy matters, because I see all these fucking agents, and their first ad is free home evaluation. Well, what the fuck have you ever paid for a home evaluation in the history, right? It's always been free.
It's free water, right? Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The thing is you can still do a home evaluation ad, but you need to say more like your home could be worth more than you think, or you instantly find out how much your home is worth, or something like that. So why don't we just walk through, a cookie Facebook ad that converts pretty decent for someone that's just looking to get started?
Yeah, no, for sure. I think a lot of agents run their first Facebook ad, they get no leads, they get no engagement, no comments, and all of a sudden they quit, right? So it's a really important question. I think it really, really, really depends on what your goals are. So if your goal is just to get a bunch of views or just to get a bunch of reach, then basically anything works, right? Just sold, just listed, whatever. Just put it up there with the picture, boost it, you'll get a bunch of reach. Now, obviously, for a lot of agents, they're not going to see that as success, and so they want to run something that works. One of the things that we've seen that works really, really well is actually pre-construction ads. So it depends on the area that you're in, but it works really well, and I'll tell you why. Whether it's a townhouse, a new construction, a pre-construction condo in a big city, whatever it is, when you advertise that, and I would recommend advertising as a lead gen ad, which means that when people click it, they can fill in information and then you get it. Obviously, you know that just for the people listening or tuning in on this. What you do is you advertise the pre-construction property, and you basically just say, to get more information on the pre-construction property, click here. And the thing is, if you advertise a property that's on MLS, it's all over the internet already, right? So you advertise it, people see the address, they go into Google it, they have the information. There's absolutely zero reason for them to contact you unless they're really, really hot and want to buy, which is really unlikely. But with a pre-construction property, there's almost no information out there. And so people, when they see that ad, they know that there's no information and they want the information. And so they fill in the form to get the information from you. And then that way you're generating that list of leads. We've seen that work time and time again. It's kind of niche and nuanced, but I'd say it's something that works all the time when we run it. And that's why, yeah.
Man, I think it's so funny that you say that, and it couldn't be more ironic. So a year ago in September, I was running Facebook ads, and I came up with this idea where I was like, you know what? If I can reach out to some of these builders and find out what they have coming, and before they start marketing with their huge budget, I can get in there and market a couple weeks before it goes public or before they have their first, public launch. If I can market that, what would happen? And in $40 worth of ad spend, I did 5 transactions in 1 month, and I got $45,000 worth of commission.
Yeah,
and
that's incredible.
30 minutes to do. All I did was I talked to the marketing team. I said, can you give me your stock images? So I did photography. I said, can you let me know, where to drive people? And that's all I did, say, to find out more about this exciting new development in this brand new community, reach out to me. Took all the leads, and then I just funneled and I crushed it. And now I'm actually representing that builder in that community. And they agreed to work with me for over 150 units in a townhouse, all from that one-time $40 ad spend with 5 deals in 1 month. So
that's unbelievable.
I can't believe I'm giving that away. So everyone listening, I'll agree. But
I mean, here's the thing, right? Here's the thing. I think there's not like, I'm always happy to give the tips and the knowledge and the tricks. And I think even you telling this in public, the reality is this, right, Mike? A lot of agents don't have some of them don't have the time to go and do what you did, or they don't think they have the time to do what you did. Some of them simply don't know how, right? Like even if they talk to the marketing people at the builder and they sent them the photos, and what do they do with the photos, right? How do they upload it? How do they get the leads? Where does the lead go? How do you set up a Facebook ad account? Do I want to do this? And so, obviously that's what we're in the business of doing, is just saying, look, just tell us what property it is. We'll figure it out. We'll run the ad. You get the leads, and it's done. And so we're trying to bring that to more people. But yeah, man, it's crazy when you just, like you said, it's all about the copy, and it's all about what is this person getting, right? They're getting from you information they could not have had otherwise. And so you're actually benefiting them, right? They're getting a big benefit from becoming one of your leads. And then obviously that translates into you making dollars. And once you make that switch into what am I giving, what am I providing, everything changes. All of a sudden your $40 turns into $40,000, and you see those results. And like I said, most agents might not have the time to do it, and that's all we want to do is empower agents to be able to do that specifically, just like you did.
Certainly, man. And it couldn't be more important, like you said, is understanding the value add aspect. And this even goes into door knocking or whatever, but specifically for the saturated, overwhelming amount of ads that people are consuming. If you're just another agent that's trying to sell himself, you're going to just fall into the mix of everyone else and the entire stigma of why most people hate realtors. But if you're finding your own creative way, and this is what Greg McDaniel said on our podcast, where he said, you know what, in 2019, look at what everyone else is doing, turn around 180 degrees so you're looking in a different direction and start doing something there. And that couldn't be more powerful, man. So, we kind of talked about this a little bit off camera about what you guys have coming up, and it kind of segues into, new industry trends, because people are doing a lot more Facebook ads now. And even me in my own market, I'm seeing some of the, old dinosaur agents that are trying their way in ads, and everyone's getting into the space. And now we're understanding that it's almost important to go a layer deeper. So why don't you talk about, what we discussed off camera about now follow-up and funnels and landing pages. And one of the things we're seeing convert highest here is actually text follow-up plans.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
Everyone, so what's the next layer after getting into Facebook, and some of the trends you're seeing maybe over the course that you're projecting for 2019 in the marketing space in general?
Yeah, for sure. So, one of the very first, I guess, step or layer that we suggest people we suggest that you don't stay there, right? It's like the first grade, right? Like how many years should you be in the first grade? One, right? Then you got to move on. The first kind of grade or the layer, I'd say, is like the typical post your pictures and then click the boost button, put your credit card in, $10. You're essentially throwing $10, down the drain, unless you really care about the couple thousand people that saw your post. I think people are trying to take it a step above now, or they have been at least for the last couple of years, which is actually setting up lead gen campaigns and making sure that when people click the ad, they're able to fill in their information and send it to you for more information or whatever it is that you're providing, or that they click to a landing page where you're capturing that contact info. I think that's really the second layer. And the third layer that we're getting into, because we've been doing these two things for a long time now, and just helping agents get those leads, fill their pipes, make sure that they can get business from it. But the third layer that we're going to, that we're seeing now a lot more often, and we're seeing it work really well, is actually doing the follow-up for the agents, the initial follow-up, right? So like you said, the actual texting, the emailing, the retargeting people on Facebook, which is really powerful and really interesting. Like imagine, you run an ad, you get 10 leads that they want more information, but they're not ready to buy or sell. And so now you obviously want to email them and text them over time. But what's really powerful is that whenever you run another ad for another property, you make sure that those 10 people or 100 people or 1,000 people, however many leads that you've collected, you make sure that they see your ad again and again and again. So you're always top of mind. And in their minds, you're the superstar. You're the top dog in real estate. You're the number one, right? It's like paying a fraction of the cost to buy every billboard in the city just when you want the specific people to see it, right? And so that's what we're getting into, and we've been in beta with it, testing with our customers. And what happens that we've realized, and it really aligns with the trends in the industry, and overall in digital marketing, is that people are in the digital funnel for a longer period now, and then they get into that one-on-one buying funnel, right? And funnel just means that period of time, those things that they're doing before they buy. So now we're seeing a lot of people, like you said, they'll see your ad, they'll go to your profile, follow you, see a couple posts from you for like a few weeks, a few months, whatever it is. They're only in that digital side. They haven't met Mike, they haven't talked to Mike, but they've seen Mike and everything you stand for the last year. And then they get a text message from you or whatever it is, and then they talk to you, right? And then that's the next part. And so we're helping our agents out with that first part, which is becoming longer and longer and more intense, and people really relying on content to drive their decision, on digital content. And so that's what we're trying to do. And I think without a doubt, that's basically where every industry is going. And it's obviously where real estate's going too.
Definitely. And I think you can probably touch on this, is the fact that what I find, Sam, is, if you run maybe a lead gen ad and then you blend that with just a general brand awareness, not even a sales ad, but just some photos, and you start building that trust, because people like to work with those they like, know, and trust. And if you're able through digital, what I find all the time is now I often go into listing presentations and it's no longer me trying to fight for their business. They already made the conscious decision that they want to work with me because they like me. And here's the thing is like, if you look at me and you don't like my purple car, like maybe we're not the fucking best people to work together, and that's okay. But if you like the stuff that I'm putting out, it's now a consultation where it's like, what's the price? When do you want to list? Let's go, because you're seen as a bit of an authority in the space. So I think, like you say, when you start adding these other touch points, retargeting, lookalike audiences, so many things, it creates a new level. And I like that you guys are providing an easy to use platform, because I know more than anyone how difficult and time consuming that can be when you're doing it yourself. So that's, and I think that's going to really help take a load off people's plates. So let's get back to Property Spark for a sec, because you guys have, one of the things that I saw before I even got reached out to you by you is these lists you guys are creating, and it's creating a lot of excitement within different cities and making you guys seem. I just had a call before this with a guy in Chicago. I was like, hey man, I've got a call with Sam from Property Spark. He's like, I know them and I see their ads. What's the story with these lists? How did you come up with the list of the top social media agents in every city? What has that done for not only the agents, but you? Because I can speak to it on what that's done for me. So let's talk about it from the Property Spark perspective.
Yeah, for sure. So, we've been doing the top list now for over 2 years. And essentially for all your viewers and listeners, what our top lists are, it's the Property Spark top realtors on social media. And so we'll have a team here at Property Spark that researches hundreds, sometimes thousands of agents on social media in any given city. Sometimes we do a yearly one for all North America, which you're actually on, Mike, which is incredible. And we'll research all the agents, and we'll look at all their Facebook profiles, their Instagram profiles, their Twitter, all their social media channels, and we'll see who's got the most followers, the most engagement, who's got the most interesting content. Really a holistic approach to looking at who's really crushing it on social media in the real estate game. And then we rank those. We rank those agents based on those different factors, and we publish those lists on our blog. And it's actually crazy how much traction we get from those blogs every single day. And it really started way back when I just started the company. And I think I was actually I'm not going to lie to you. It wasn't even my idea. It was I was watching a webinar from these digital marketing companies, these content marketers, similar to what we're doing here, just talking, and they were talking about how if you find the best people in the industry and blog about them, there's a high chance that they'll reciprocate and they will share that content, and that's how you can get your initial people to your website. I thought it's a great idea. Let's give it a go. I hired an intern at the time that helped me do the research. The very first one I did, we published it. It blew up. The people that were on the blog really liked it. And, at the time, over 2 years ago, we were just starting out as a company. But now, after, over 2 years of doing this, some of the lists we've done several times, it's like a big thing. People really want to be on this list. They reach out. They're like, how do I get on the list? What do I have to do? And we tell them, honestly, you can't pay to be on. You cannot solicit us to be on. I mean, if you reach out and say, I'd like to be on, we'll tell you this is the criteria, and we'll keep you in mind when we look at the next list. We always keep the people that reach out in mind, but it's really just an objective look at who is crushing it on social media and in the real estate space. And it's become like a huge thing now, which we're really thrilled about. And we've become one of the top 20 real estate blogs overall on the internet, basically because of those top lists. And I think the big thing that we've done, I think, and that we try to do, and that the reason why we keep doing the top list, not just for the traffic, not just for the recognition, but it's just showcasing to other real estate agents that, like, look, it's possible. You don't have to be a celebrity. You don't have to be on TV. You don't have to be on the radio. You don't need to spend $100,000 on billboards. And if you're doing that, great. Or if you're on TV, great. But just take a look at this top 20 list or this top 100 list. Click through some of the profiles, and you'll see it's regular real estate agents that said, I'm going to get my stuff together. I'm going to start doing social media. I'm going to crank it out every day. A lot of them are using services. Some of them are using Property Spark. You don't have to use Property Spark, but some of them are. A lot of them are using different services, different platforms, doing everything they can to crush it. And they are becoming today's social media superstars, right? Because maybe, the top 20, real estate agents in Chicago, right? Maybe they're not known in LA or in Toronto or in Australia or New Zealand, but in Chicago, everybody knows them because they're a superstar in their own right on social media. And that's what we just try to showcase with the list. And it's been amazing what it's been able to do. And, it's crazy, right? Like, we met because I didn't know you before you're on the top list, right? My staff was working on the research. They found you, they put you on, and then it just goes from there. And that's the power of social media and connecting with people and just talking to other people, writing about them, getting influencers on board. It's really incredible.
Definitely, Sam. I think it was so funny because, it was cool for me, and it was really humbling because I didn't even have an Instagram account before I started in real estate.
Oh, yeah.
In my first year, I dove deep and understand the relevance and importance and got ranked number 2. Now, what was even funnier is that mid-year, there was this guy, and he's bought all kinds of followers and shit like that. And he commented on my ranking of number 27 saying, and he tagged one of the other realtors, and he said, isn't this the one you can pay to get on? And I was like, you honestly think I paid to get on this list? I'm like, oh my God, man, you guys are a joke. It was funny. But that's crazy. To understand is, just like me in my first year, that was just by me documenting my journey and my come up per se. And anyone can do that. When you get put on a list or you get featured on someone's blog, the opportunity for you to leverage that as social proof, credibility, status, and for your brand is so powerful. So when you get the opportunity to be on one of Sam's lists or something like that, look at that as almost like an award or an accolade that you can then use. It's almost like, I know Remax or different, companies like that have the Platinum Club and the Diamond Club. People put that in their signature. I put that in my signature as credibility, and people comment it all the time, So I think in this new age, like you say, people becoming thought leaders and influencers in this space, it's important to leverage whenever you get the opportunity to get something like this, because it can do wonders for ethics to the business, right?
Yeah. No, 100%. I think it's like you said, it's actually like I said, it wasn't like a new innovation or idea that I had. I just applied it to real estate over 2 years ago, and now we're the leading list for people on social media and real estate. But Forbes does it every single year, right? Top 30 under 30, 40 or whatever, 40 under 40, whatever it is. All just look at, once you actually see that every big company out there has been doing it for years and decades, is calling out the people who are crushing it in the industry. And then, that really drives tons of traffic, tons of engagement, because like you said, the people that are on those lists, like yourself, use it as credibility to, tell their clients about what they're doing, what they're good at, what they're credible in, what they've been recognized for. And I guess, over 2 years ago when we started, I just realized it's time for real estate agents to start getting recognized, not just for the commissions, not just for being part of this club, but, for what they're doing on social media, which really matters nowadays.
Certainly. And, I like the tactic that you guys took, because, as I've even done myself, when you get featured, you share it, which drives traffic back organically to you guys. And that's almost something that I like to help people understand on Instagram, is the fact that when you're getting started and you don't have a big following, go find an influencer, like a local blogger or a fitness person, or someone that has a big following. And when you start cross-promoting content with them, you're able to provide a story, share networks, things like that. So all of that collaboration and opportunity to cross-pollinate does wonders for everyone's brand. It's such a win-win opportunity. And I love that you guys seized that for your own business. So that's what I'm going to be doing with my new marketing agency.
That's awesome, man.
For branding, specifically for personal branding, later at the end of this month. So I'm excited to launch that. But
nice.
I love what you guys are doing, man. You guys are continuously able to be thought leaders in the business, not only with crazy results. So before we wrap it up, I'd love to know, what are some of the results that people are seeing, in terms of testimonials with your group? Because it's one thing for us to talk about it, but it's another to hear from, the horse's mouth, what this is doing for agents and the ability to take a hands-off approach and see your business grow.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, we have obviously the numbers to prove it. My dad's original story, agents who have made hundreds of thousands of dollars after we've helped them on social media, incremental commissions to what they used to do before. And I think people hear that a lot, and obviously it gets them interested and excited. We've tripled agents' commission. But I think what really hits home for me is when, and we have video testimonials saying stuff like this, is literally, agents saying, like, look, I wasn't on social media before. I wasn't doing much. And now whenever I go anywhere, whenever I go, most important, to a listing presentation, we have a video testimonial of this, an agent saying, when I go to a listing presentation, they have already seen me. They already know who I am. They know what I'm doing. They know how I advertise my properties. And that's already like 80% of getting that listing. And, just hearing that's incredible. And hearing some other agents who've been with us for over 2 years saying, everybody knows me. Everybody sees me all the time. And I think what's most amazing about it is that at one point they were thinking, okay, do I have to go get a second mortgage on the house, get a big loan, right? Should I dump all my savings and all this marketing dollars so that finally everybody knows who I am? And I think, Property Spark became an option at the time for them, and they took it. And now for a fraction of the cost, which would be buying all the billboards and the radio ads or the TV ads or whatever it is, or the print and the newspaper, for a fraction of the cost and of the time, because we do everything for you. We don't just give you a platform, but we literally do the work for our agents. We have a team here that does it. For a fraction of the time and the cost, they've gotten that vision that they had in their head about being recognized in their industry, recognizing their community, showing up to the listing presentations as someone who's already trusted, who people already know can close a deal. Getting them from that point A of visualizing that and thinking about how much it's going to cost and what the time is going to be to do it, to point B, where they didn't have to do a lot and it cost them a fraction. All they really had to do was believe in us and believe in the system. That's the most incredible testimonials I think we've gotten, because obviously the commissions and the leads and the deals are, the first priority and most important. But I think what's really significant for us is like, you're stressed out. You're a real estate agent. You're trying to figure out the real estate game, and at the same time, you think you have to figure out the Facebook game and the Instagram game and the ads and all this stuff, and it's driving you crazy. And so, if we can alleviate that pain for those real estate agents, whether they're making $100,000 or they're making $300,000, if we can just tell you, you're going to get what your vision is, we're going to help you get there, and we get them there. That's the most rewarding thing for us and the team here at Property Spark, for sure.
Certainly, man. That's so inspiring, because like you say, I see so many agents that fall flat on their face when they get into the real estate game, because they feel like, they have to be a master at everything themselves. And when you're trying to be, put on your marketing hat and your prospecting hat and your listing hat, and it becomes too much for people. So I love what you guys are doing, man. Yeah. The utmost respect for it. So, the last two questions I ask everyone that comes on here is, what is your most recommended book for the viewers, and what can we expect to see from not only Property Spark, but you going forward?
Yeah, for sure. So number one book, I would say, especially for real estate agents, and it's by Grant Cardone. I don't know if you've ever seen Grant Cardone. Yeah, you definitely have. Big real estate player, obviously like in the REIT space and whatnot. But anyways, he wrote this book called The 10X Rule, which is like literally life. Have you read it?
Yeah, I have.
Yeah, a literally life-changing book. And essentially, Grant Cardone is, I think he's in his 60s now. Then he started in the social media game, obviously, later stage in his life. And he just realized, I gotta, whatever I do, if I'm posting, if I'm advertising, I gotta go 10X, whatever I thought that I had to do to get the results that I want. Same thing with his goals. He's like, whatever goals I have to 10X them. Yeah. And that's really changed the game for us, and the way that we think about posting content and running ads for our agents. And it changed, it changed the way my dad thought about things, right? I can't just run one ad every few months, right? I can't just post one thing once a year. I got to go constantly, every day, 10X, right? Getting it out there. I absolutely love that book. Grant Cardone's an absolute legend and genius. That's an amazing book, The 10X Rule by Grant Cardone. And in terms of the future, what's in the future for Property Spark? We're, been doing this for over 2 years now, working with agents all around the world. Canada, States, New Zealand, Australia. The thing that we're really, really starting to hone in on and understand and get, and I still get on the phone with our clients and pick up the phone and call them and see what's going on and how they're liking the service and what they want. And what we're really, hearing and understanding is like, these agents, they just want to win, right? They want to win. It's not like, there's some agents that just want to chill out and make, 10 deals a year and whatever. But the majority of agents, they get up every morning and they're like, I need more leads. I need to close deals. I need listings. I want to be recognized. I want to be known. And now for us, it's become, our mission in the next coming year is to launch products and services like the lead gen, like the follow-up, like the text messaging, the email blasting, the retargeting, things that will get them more leads, get them more deals, and just help them become winners. Because I think, nowadays, especially real estate agents, which is why I love working with them, they just want to win. And so we're helping them do that however possible. And, obviously, keep it. We're always posting, updating stuff on Facebook at Property Spark and on our website, propertyspark.com.
Definitely, Sam. Thank you so much, man. I'm going to link not only all of the content from Sam's website down below, especially some of the products that he mentioned in this, but also the 10X rule to make sure you guys know how to 10X your business in 2019. Yeah. So, guys, thank you so much for tuning in, and make sure you comment your biggest takeaway below. As you can see, there's so many things you can take away from here. You don't need to go watch another 10 videos on Facebook marketing. Just start taking action. In 2019, that's the biggest thing, is just making that leap. So again, hopefully you guys took some advice. Sam gives so much context to the importance of Facebook advertising, and it's so nice to have an industry specialist come shed the light on something that's completely revolutionizing the marketing game in real estate. So Sam, thank you so much again, brother, for coming on.
Thank you, Mike. It's been a pleasure.
You bet. Thanks, guys, for tuning in, and we will see you next time. All right, everyone, so there you have it. I hope you were able to take something impactful away from this interview that you're going to be able to apply to your own life. Please comment below what your biggest takeaway was, And if you have anyone in mind that you think I should interview next, thank you for tuning in. As always, please make sure you subscribe, and we will see you next time.